Welcome everyone to the call. Thank you. I want to welcome everyone to the call tonight. I apologize for this technical difficulties. My name is Mike File. I'm a Family First Life Allegiance. We have the honor and privilege to have Mr. John Wetmore on with us this evening. John, how you doing, man?
Sound effects and everything, dude. I like it.
There we go, man. We
Impressive.
we are up and running. John, a couple of weeks ago when we were at dinner, I came back and I was kind of talking about what we were talking about at the table. And I was talking to a lot of people about it. I said, there's a lot of things that I'm not doing right. And what's amazing is in the last 24 months, we've collectively been able to build a team doing over $1 million a month. And it amazes me how many things that we're doing wrong. And
hey, I'm still amazed every day that all the crap I do wrong, we're the size we are. So it don't ever change, bro.
Well, I appreciate you getting on tonight. And I kind of told everyone, and we have so many people on here right now that are in, this team building mode. And we want to grow rapidly. And obviously 2022 is the year of growth. And there's no one better that I can think of that can help us really take this thing to the next level than you. So I appreciate you being on.
Yeah, you got it, dude. I'm happy to help, brother. Always enjoy it, man.
I appreciate it. So it's all yours, man.
Yeah. Well, growth is a funny thing, dude. It's like there's different stages to it for sure. And we can make this more of a conversation. I don't have like a planned talk per se. I'm good just talking. I mean, I do this all day, every day. So it's kind of going to come from the hip. So if there's things you need specific relative to your group, certainly can fine tune the questions or even take questions. I don't care at all.
Okay.
But early on, dude, I think I'll start with the beginning part, because that's where a majority of people is starting their journey to building. And dude, it's as easy as like, and if for anybody not writing a lot of insurance, I apologize. It might not seem easy to you yet, but once you figure out like issuing 20, 30, 40 grand a month isn't that difficult when you're organized and you buy enough leads and you run enough appointments and you train enough to understand how to be a professional at your career, it's really easy to sell a lot of insurance. It's not all that complicated. Those that sell a lot of insurance just run way more appointments than those of y'all that don't. It's honestly that simple. And with time, because they're running so many appointments, comes an additional skill set. Certainly they're better, but they weren't better when they started. They're better because they see so many people, right? It seems like common sense, but it's funny, dude. A lot of people kind of wait till they figure it out to buy more leads. I'm like, no, dude, buying more leads is the answer. You'll see more people, you'll get better, and it gets more profitable as you spend more. It actually becomes stupid more, because at the beginning, dude, it's like you're buying leads to make whatever deposits, and then you're paying your bills, and then you got lead money again. But when you buy more leads and you make additional income, you don't have your bills anymore. So that second round of income, if you will, is all profit. And dude, it's the same way in the building side. Like people overcomplicate this thing, and they interview a couple people a week and they're like confused. They don't grow. And the numbers on the hiring side, dude, I've interviewed way more people than appointments I've run. It's like, it's not even close, And so if you're not interviewing more people than you're seeing, that's an easy fix right away. You know what I mean? So for the beginner people that are like, how do I build? Just start talking to a lot of people. And with time, you'll get really good at it. My first couple of years, dude, I interviewed, I was part-time my first year, for those that don't know. And this is back in 2012 and with a different company, even. It was before FFL started. And then, so my first part-time year, I interviewed like 300 something people, and I had a job at the time. My first year full-time, I interviewed like 400 people that year. This is in 2014, first year of FFL. And dude, I didn't really have that many agents because I was still trying to acquire the skill set. I was still learning how to promote all FFL had to offer. I was still learning that, like, dude, everything doesn't revolve around John Wetmore. Like the less I promoted everything that FFL had to offer, the more I tried to keep them in my little corner, in my little bubble, the harder it was to grow. Wow. So I had to really learn how to utilize the system, if you will, and the people around me and the people that were winning and promote them and edify people that were killing it. And me just being a conduit to bringing people into FFL and all it has to offer. And when I started doing that, I started attracting a lot more people because I didn't have to be the guy. I'd be like, hey, this guy, Mark Mead, he's freaking bomb. He's selling 600 grand a year and he's killing. Go watch his training. Hey, this guy, Paul McLean, he's out there. He speaks so da, 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 and I could point to him and Matt and Andrew and all these guys that were killing it. Frankie, dude, you know how many people I've sent to Frankie over that 25-year cash back? Dude, I learned that from him. Everything he does, I'm like, you know how much money that fool's made me? You know what I'm saying? All of us. And there's different people I learned different things from. And now certainly people learn things from me because what happened? I was seeing so many people. I acquired a skill set for sure. And the same thing happened in the building side, dude. I was talking to so many people that I just got really good at understanding what makes people move, what makes people get started here. You know, the reality is at the beginning, everyone tells you they're going to do everything and most don't do it. Hell, most people in here, it's like humans, man. How many people are like, New Year, 2022 is the year. I'm going to eat healthy and get in shape and go to the gym and do that. And it's like the 4th. Dude, I went to the gym today and it was empty on the 4th. You know, and it's the same with building. People are like, I'm going to start hiring and recruiting and da, 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 da. And 3 days later, I'm like, how many did you talk to today? Ooh, I haven't interviewed no one today. Dude, I've recruited every single day, 24/7, 365 for the last 9 years. And then how you get, and you know, so, and how we grew the way we do now is I've taught other people how to do it. That's how you scale. You can build by yourself. You can scale with others. Does that make sense? And, you know, again, early on, dude, it's like when I was trying to build for the override, dude, I didn't really build that well. I didn't really have much of a business. Certainly I was making a few bucks when people sold, whatever. But dude, it was like a revolving door. And people know when you're trying to build to get an override on their sales versus when you're actually trying to help another human being make money. Like they know. It's not hard. It's not hard to figure out. You know, and John,
So I didn't mean to interrupt you. And that was something that's something that we talked about that night because it was difficult for me. 2 years ago, I came back and I hired everyone and there was no override. So I know what you're talking about. We talked about that specifically. It was very hard. I had to go out there and run. We had a team doing, you know, we were doing 350, 400,000 and there wasn't hardly any overrides because everyone was in here at very, very high comp. And it's very, it's counterintuitive of the way you would think you would do it, but that's the way Sean said to do it. And I did it and it's got us as far. But yes.
It's like when you're seeing clients, dude, when you're in there desperate to make a sale because you need to pay your car bill or your mortgage or your rent or your electric bill, and you're dying for a sale, you know how hard it is to sell then. I definitely know I do. I was desperate as shit at the beginning. And when I was pushing to sell because I needed the cash, dude, I didn't make as many sales as when I was just trying to help families, dude. And I knew the money would come and I had enough appointments that I didn't give two shits if Bob bought a policy or not. I just didn't care because I had 30 appointments. It didn't matter. I knew enough people were going to buy that week. So I got to take my mind off of myself and just help the people I was sitting with. Because again, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, at the end of the year, I knew the numbers were going to work out in my favor. And they worked out nicely. And it's the same thing with building, dude. So many people are looking to hire Joe, Susie, and Mary. And then they're looking at issue paid the next week. And they're like, where's my volume? Where's my overrides? Where's my check? It's like, why don't you just interview enough people? If you sell enough insurance to where you don't need an override, and then you hire a bunch of people just purely to help them do better in life, dude, the way the system's structured, the way FFL's comp is structured and bonus program is structured, you will be rewarded stupidly. Like it's obscene how much money I've made at FFL because I've helped people, you know, relative. And again, 9 years ago, dude, I was making 40 grand a year.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, it still blows my mind. But as we started to change this thing, and it's like, there's other companies out there, dude, that like, and if you're in a position to where anyone at FFL's comp is relatively high for them, you know what I mean, relative to the industry, you know, but if you're in a manager spot, now it's a different game, dude. You know, at the beginning, just hire. And if you don't know how to train people, it's like, hey, I got this guy, Mike Fowle. He's killing it. He's helping a lot of people make a bunch of money, and he's willing to train some more people like he's training me. Hey, come over here and talk to him, and just pass the buck to whoever your guy is, your manager, your whoever that is. They can take that burden, because recruiting and training are two different things. People merge them into one, and they go, I'm not ready to recruit yet because I don't know what I'm doing. So FFL does. Why do you need to know what to do to recruit? Meaning, if we were, I always do this. If let's say Waffle House. I don't know if y'all have Waffle House around. It's all over the place.
I love Waffle House.
If Waffle House was like, dude, we'll pay you 250 G's a year, and we're going to teach you how to, like, you ever seen how they order? Like, they get like 87 orders at once and 9 waitresses yelling out orders, and somehow they got it all in their head, and they just cook 28,000 things at once. I'm like, that's got to be a lot. I couldn't do that. But obviously there's a system in place there. You see them put like certain things on the plate, identify, like they got a weird system. So I'm like, if you got hired there and they were like, hey, we'll pay you 250 G's a year to flip eggs and waffles and bacon and all that stuff, and as many people as you know that can come in, we'll pay them 250 a year too, and we'll train them. Would you be like, nah, I got to wait till I know how to cook like that guy before I hire anyone? That's stupid. You know what I mean? Like, that don't make no sense. I'd be like, dude, bro, Waffle House is paying $250 a year and they'll train you. You know what I'm saying? And it's here's the same way. It's like, all you have to do is talk about what's happening here and promote FFL and the system and the help that you're getting, and relay that to other people, and then allow the people here to train them. You know how many people I've in my agency I haven't trained? Because I'm really good at promoting FFL, you know? And now in the flip side, I've also trained agents that aren't in my group, because people are really good at promoting the Atlanta office, and they come to our office and we help them, you know. And us doing it as a team has helped us all grow. I remember early on, dude, when like me, Mark, Paul, Andrew, all those guys, everybody, you know, that's been here from the beginning, we kind of looked at each other like competitors. We were competing against each other. And I remember us all getting on a call one day and going like, you know, if we all did this thing together, like if we just all helped everyone, you know how fast this thing would grow for all of us? You know how much wealth we can all build as a group? Like the concept of the TNL, dude, the TNL don't exist if people who aren't trying to contribute to the team aren't training. That's one team. We all contribute to that, you know, and that's what's made it as big as it is. And so, you know, I say that to say, as you're starting to build a team and you're starting to get some traction, dude, there's this weird, like, I remember having a desire to keep a lot of spread so I could make money now. Right? Versus continuing to sell, make money on my own pen, teach people how to make a ton of money on their own pen and keep smaller spread. It seems stupid, but dude, we've looked at all the numbers at FFL, literally all of them. We've pulled every number ever in the company, and those with the smallest spreads build the fastest and end up making the most money in the long run. By far, dude, by far. It's not even close. And I remember when Andrew Taylor called Killamet, y'all can call him. Andrew Taylor called Killamet a few years ago, and they had a conversation, and Killamet's like, dude, you're taking too much spread. He'll effing tell you today. He's like, you're taking too much spread. Dude, Andrew gave everyone raises, so he had a smaller spread. Dude, he blew up. There was a stage where for the first, 7 years, Killamet and our group were significantly bigger than Andrew's. Andrew blew up a few years ago. You know, and he just, yeah, dude, it's nuts. And we've all lived that. And it seems counterintuitive, but the reality is what happens is, like, if my accounting job paid me 150 grand a year, you know, I'd still be there. I would have never left. But they paid me 40. I eventually got to like 50. And I realized, like, there's way more money out there. What am I doing? They're making a ton off my efforts. I eventually felt some kind of way about it. And when you're building, if you're keeping a lot of spread early, dude, people will figure it out and they will resent you and they won't want to be part of your team. And to be honest, dude, it's not that hard to go out and get decent comp. Now, you ain't going to get everything FFL has to offer, but people are very short-minded. And if you're building an agency and like, we had a guy in my group, dude, starting people at 90s, bro. When I found out, I was pissed. And dude, for 3 years, he didn't grow, but he was making money because he had good spread, but he never grew. because everyone kept quitting with time when they realized they could go anywhere and get more than a 90, literally anywhere. It's not that hard. Now, again, you ain't going to get all that FFL has to offer. But when someone's just trying to pay their bills, they don't care about that right away, especially if they go, God, this guy's keeping 30 points on me. What the hell? And he ain't doing nothing. They will figure it out eventually, and you'll have more of a rotating door. Whereas if like we built this thing on 5%, maybe 10% spread for most of it. And then with time, certainly we got pushed up. You hit a 145, you're naturally going to get a touch more spread just because you're getting raises and you're starting to get bonuses. And that's where the long-term money is. And it also grows in chunks, meaning if you're at a 130, just making numbers up, and you got people at a 120, 125, say 120, whatever. And then what do you got to be to do 130? What's it like, 300 grand a month or 250 or something like that?
Yeah, we're 60 on your own pen.
Okay. Is it 300?
It is to be at a 130, it's 250.
250. All right, cool. So 250, right? And then say you go to 300 because you hire a bunch of people at a high comp and they stay. You get 5 points on 350. Just $17,000 a month, like this.
Yeah.
Then you get another bump to 140. What's that? 350 a month, I think.
Yeah, 350.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, you can make an extra 30, 40 grand a month in a 4 to 6 month period if you keep your people. And what we were doing, dude, is we were buying volume. Our whole game was this is a volume game. The more volume you have, the more money you'll make. And if you see, you'll see people, dude, you'll see people hit like 150 and get stuck. You'll see people hit like 350, 400 and get stuck. That's a hard, you know how many people I've watched in 9 years get to 400 grand and never get past it and go backwards? I can name 40 off the top of my head, because there's this point where it's like, they aren't helping other people get there. If you're the only one making real money, who the hell wants to keep working with you? Yeah. You know how many people we had making jack? And again, no one could ever say I was making money solely because of the override, because I was selling 40 G's a month. So I'm selling 40 grand a month on my own pen. I'm teaching people to sell 40 grand a month and teaching them how to build to keep people. So if I hire you, dude, and I teach you the concept, I'm like, dude, I'm going to keep the margin like this. That way you can make as much money as possible so you can invest back in your business. Well, now you're teaching the next guy the same thing. And now we have layers, dude, of people who understand that concept. We're so deep now, it's stupid. And that's why we can grow at the pace we do. You know, it took me, I started in FFL started in 2014. It took me till 2018 to get to $1 million a month. Right. Wow. So that's 14, 15, 16, so 4 full years. So 19, 20, 21, 22. So 4 years. So first 4 years got to $1 million a month. The next 4 years, dude, we'll do like $11 million this month. So we were able to grow an 11x pace because of this concept. Because everyone was getting paid, dude. We're Southeast and Agent Force, we're stacked with people printing money, you know, because we weren't trying to hold people back. And we don't have a lot of people leave because everyone was making money. And again, I didn't need the spread, dude. I was printing money on my own pen. And then I hired enough people where I got 50, 60, 70, 80 people. Dude, it's 500-600 grand a month, even at 10 points. I'm making 50 G's a month. Wow. And it's stupid stable because everyone was at high comp right behind me. We were in it together. It wasn't John and then us. Dude, it was like all of us. We were in this game together. I just happened to be here first. So certainly I had a little higher comp. I introduced people to the thing. I'm training people like crazy. So certainly I deserve a little spread. But I've watched people try to build this with 20, 30, 40 point spread. And dude, the agents, dude, they grow so resentful over it. And again, they can't make money to reinvest into their own business. So how do you grow with that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, again, if I hire you and I hold you back, well, what are you going to hire people at 70s? Like what? That doesn't make no sense. You can't, or even if you go, I got him at 100. Well, his guy's at a 90 and his guy's at an 80 and then his guy's at a 70. So you can only go too deep before like people are making no money. Where I can go 9 deep, bro. And I ain't hitting 90. You know what I'm saying? If I do it right. And so there's got to be this balance between the stability side and you got to make money. You're running stuff. If you're providing value to people, it's okay. I mean, I was doing everyone's contracting. We were taking care of lead. We were doing all kinds of crap in my office. So people weren't mad because they had no expense. I see people trying to grab spread and making their people have the expense. I'm like, dude, they can't feed their kids sometimes if you're building it incorrectly. And that's why you'll see a lot of people get stuck at that 400, 500, 600 grand a month range, because they're not building it properly. It's not a stable business. You know what I mean? It's very, and dude, be clear, 400, 500 grand a month is way closer to zero than I am. That's scary to me looking back. Like, I liked it when I was there. It was like, oh, look, we're at 400. But dude, that can go away like this. You know, you've been around long enough. You've seen it.
Absolutely.
You've seen it. It's like, it happened. Whereas if you have a stable business, dude, this thing, it's hard to explain the pace at which it grows. Like, it doesn't just grow a little bit. It grows like this, and it grows in chunks if you do it properly. And then you start getting bonus money. Dude, the bonuses Sean gives, I think the average bonus last month was 25 grand. The average one, you know, there's a stupid amount of people getting 40, John, 50, 60, 80, 100 grand a month bonuses.
One thing that I know, me personally, I have problems with is when Sean showed that number, the number of people we hire versus the number of people that write their first piece of business. I think my number was at like 13%. Can you talk a little bit about that? What is the proper way to hire someone? I loved when we were talking that night, the way you set the expectations, you know, is not the way that I was doing it. It's probably why my number is so low. Can we talk a little bit about that, about what is the proper way to hire someone to get them writing and setting that expectation up front?
Yeah. But, you know, for me, dude, it's a lot. Again, I relate a lot of this to selling because a lot of y'all understand the sales side. I mean, if we walk into a house and we don't set the expectations in a house, it's going to be really awkward, right? It's going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to be clear, and they're probably not going to buy. Meaning you walk in and you're like, here's who I am. Here's what we're going to do today. Here's how this works. Here's what you can expect. And you explain it. No different than you walk into a dentist and they're like, all right, we're going to sit in the chair and we're going to do x-rays first. Then we're going to numb your face. Then we're going to do that. Like, it'd be weird if they just started drilling your face when you sat in the chair. You know what I'm saying? They didn't like guide you through the process. Mm-hmm. And I think, dude, a lot of people just hire, throw it against the wall and hope they stick, which is hard, man. And it's, again, like selling. If you just go in and you start talking about the value of life insurance in a generic way, and you start selling Americo and A-rated, and oh my God, this company's this, and they're worth $1 zillion, and look at their pretty building and this brochure we have. And if you don't buy life insurance, you're in trouble. You'll be in trouble. I know you need it. Dude, you don't sell that way. How do we sell? We ask a lot of questions. Why? To identify a problem. Why? So we can solve it with life insurance. It's pretty damn simple, right? And you see a lot of people, dude, I messed this up for the first 2 years, bro. I'd be interviewing someone and they were interviewing me, and all I was doing was throwing up on them information. Just like, hey, pretty brochure, A-rated. I'm like, you're going to get rich, bro. We do 40 grand a month a minute. It's so easy. Where I'm like, dude, I'm asking questions, dude. One, when you sell enough insurance, you don't give a rip if they work with you or not. I don't give two shits if someone works with me or not. I don't care at all. Zero do I care if they work with me, right? So my mentality is different. I'm trying to get them to show me that I have to take, because again, dude, I'm as 1099 as y'all are, right? No one has to be on this call, including me, right?
Yeah.
Meaning the agent I'm hiring is independent, but I'm independent. I don't have to work with the new agent as much as they don't have to work with me. And I know I add more value to them than they add to me because I'm selling on my own pen. I don't need agents. I want agents. I want a business. I want to help people, but I didn't need anyone. Where I think many people early on, I went into it needing it because I wasn't selling enough life insurance that I needed more money. And I was trying to get it through other people's efforts. And that wasn't the way to build it. So when I started going into it and really trying to help people get paid, well, in order to help them get paid and provide them a solution, I had to understand their problem and their situation. So I ask a lot of questions, dude, before I even explain at all. First of all, I assume, especially now, you can about assume they know what we do. We're out there. We're everywhere. Day one, dude, no one knew who the hell we were. We were having to beg people to work with NFL. But now, again, dude, they reached out to me. I assume they're in a bad financial situation. Like if they apply for an ad, they're probably not happy with where they're at financially and probably not their time. They're probably not excited about how much time they do or don't get with their family. That's pretty standard.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm trying to figure out the situation, dude. I'm trying to figure out their willingness to change, right? It's like my job is to help people go from where they're at to where they want to go. And I have to understand what they're willing to sacrifice to bridge that gap. Because I can't give them a plan if they don't explain to me their situation and what they're willing to sacrifice. Meaning when I started, dude, I had a job that was an hour and a half away. So I commuted an hour and a half. I was working 40 hours a week. I had 5 kids. 4 of them were from previous marriage. So I had 4 of the kids every other weekend and Wednesday nights at the time. Right. So my schedule couldn't be, if someone was like, yeah, you'll get rich, just buy $1,000 a week worth of leads, run 30 appointments, man, you'll kill it. Go get them, Tiger. Dude, that wouldn't have worked for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if Killamet didn't sit down with me and understand my situation, and we built the plan, we built the schedule, we built the lead plan, we kind of built how this was going to happen. So that my problem was I was getting up at 4:30 a.m. to go to a job I hated, commuting an hour and a half, and I didn't get home still till probably, I had to be there at 7. So I was leaving at 5:30 to get there at 7. And then the commute back, I'd leave at 4. Dude, it'd take me to like at least 6. And if in Atlanta it rained, dude, it might take me till 7. Because I don't know, in Atlanta, they can't drive in the rain. It's really weird. And so my problem was I was working nonstop. I wasn't making enough money to afford anything for my kids. And I had no time for anything. That was my issue. That was my problem. I was trying to get out of that. Does that make sense? I wanted to be a better provider. I wanted to have more time with my family. And I didn't want to be driving all over God's green earth to make no money. Dude, I have 50 grand a year. After taxes, I'm taking home $500 a week, maybe $600 a week. It was nothing. You know, that doesn't provide a lot. So for me, the solution was start out part-time, run a couple nights a week and Saturdays, right? Because I had the job income that could fund the leads. If I quit and did this full-time, I'd have no money. So that'd have been a stupid plan, right? So the expectation was, dude, take some of the, first of all, I ran off someone's old leads was my plan because I had no real money, but it was run off the old leads, make some cash on that, keep paying your bills with your job money. And then anything you make on insurance, reinvest into leads. And then I also had to acquire one hell of a skill set because I was terrible at this at the beginning, dude. So again, the plan was to provide a solution to my world, right? And in my first year, part-time at a different company at a 55 comp, I made 60 grand part-time.
Wow.
At a 55.
That's crazy.
And you know where I came from.
Yep. Yes, I do.
You know what I'm saying? I made 60 G's that year, part-time in 2012. I was like, dang. So then the transition came. So again, for me, dude, I'm trying to understand people's situations. They're really gauge their willingness to do this, what their current financial situation is, whether or not they can invest in leads, how quick they want to go through the class. Does their spouse understand what they're getting into? Are they willing to work a full-time job and have this on the side? Where are they going to squeeze it in? Like, I want to understand the whole picture. It's like getting the financial inventory in the house, right? I get all that. I have the whole picture. And now I can hit them over the face with whatever I need to, right? And I can ask the right questions where they tell me all the problems. I just solve it. And so if I'm getting this, call it a financial inventory from the person I'm hiring, and then for me, I was setting expectations, dude. I expect you to be coachable. I expect you to do the things you say you're going to do, whatever those are. I don't care. If you can run 1 million hours a week or you can run 20 hours a week, I don't care. Just be honest. And if you say you're going to do something, do it. And if you can't do it, communicate with me and tell me otherwise. That's it. Does that make sense? Really simple. Yeah. Coachable. Do the things you say you're going to do. Communicate. That's what I'm looking for. And someone that wants to help their family as much as I want to help mine. That was my criteria for hiring. You build your own, but that was mine. If you do those 4 things, dude, me and you'll get along great. If you don't, I promise you, Mike, I will quit you before you quit me because I don't need agents. I'm trying to find people who I can help that want to get out of a situation. That's why I'm doing this. We have a great platform. We have A, B. Now I can, just like in the home, now I can talk about the benefits. We have A, B, C, D, training, leads, no contract, all the stuff we talk about. Now is the time to do all that. I ain't doing that first. No, one of my recruiters was doing a call the other day. He's brand new. And I'm listening to him. And I hear the phone. It's like ring, ring. And the person goes, hello. He's like, hey, Mary. Yeah. Hey, this is, I won't say his name because I feel bad. This is so-and-so from FFL. And you got time? Yep. All right. Well, I assume you got to watch the video we sent. Yep. All right, cool. Well, we do life insurance and mortgage protection and final expense, and the comp is this, and here's how you get paid, and 9-month advance and bonuses and renewals and leads and this and that, Sound like something you want to do? Yeah. All right, I'll send you the link. He's like, hired. I was like, bro, she was asleep for an interview. How well do you think that's going to work out for real? Like, come on, you don't know one thing. What does she do for a living? I don't know. Where does she work? I don't know. Does she have lead money? I don't know. Does she have a car? I don't know. How are we going to help her when you know nothing, bro? Right? He knows nothing about this girl. And she was asleep. I'm like, that's not how you hire. But I remember hiring those. Dude, I remember hiring people early on, bro. And then they'd like get started and they get in class and we'd be talking and, they'd be like just enrolled in the class and I'd be teaching them phone script and shit, like way, way early before I should have been. And then I'd find out like 9 hours of conversations in, they're like, oh, I'll have to go to the library to print my leads. I don't have a printer. And I'll have to take the bus because I don't have a car. And I'm like, oh my God, I just spent like 9 hours on the phone with this person and just found out they don't have a car. How stupid am I? You know what I mean? So for me, dude, it comes with asking a lot of questions and then setting the expectations for what I expect. It's like, all right, dude, you're getting started. You got to do a pre-license course. It takes 20 hours. How much time can you commit to that this week? And I see what they say. All right. If you want to knock it out in a week, 20 hours, dude, 5 nights, it's 4 hours a night. Can you commit to that? Hey, if I send you the link now, can you register today? Yes or no? Hey, when you're done registered, shoot me a text. Let me know you're done with it, okay? When they get started. Hey, bro, can you start dialing Monday? Yep. Can you be on the phones at 7 a.m.? Yep. I'm challenging people. I'm setting expectations for what should be done. Now, I was on the phone early, dude. It was easy for me to say that. I was teaching people to do what I did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's really hard to teach people to do what you're not doing. That's when you got to use other people and promote other people. and it works temporarily. But for me, it was just, go ahead.
Sorry about that. When you're hiring people, when do you make the decision of spending money on leads for people? I know a lot of people do that and then they're surprised when the people don't do anything. How do you decide when to do that? Did you do a lot of that in the beginning?
Oh, dude, I experienced everything with this, bro. I tried all kinds of crap. My least favorite thing is lead welfare. I hate it.
It doesn't seem like it works.
It does not work. Neither does welfare.
No, it does not.
Let's put them on welfare. They'll probably figure it out eventually. No, they'll be on welfare forever.
Yeah, I said the same thing last week. Yep.
Yeah, there's very few people that are on welfare that get off welfare. It's very rare. And when they're on lead welfare, they rarely get off of it. Meaning then you don't really have a duplicatable business. So if I got to help you with leads forever and I don't teach you, now a lot of people do it. There's a couple things. Sometimes it's a spread issue. They give them such low comp, they need help. Or I've seen people also, I'll give you lower comp and then buy your leads. I made that mistake because now when you make a sale, you ain't making no money. I'm making most of the spread. So now I have to buy the leads again. I'd rather give you high comp and buy your leads. That way you make the money and I only got to buy your leads maybe once, maybe twice. And I teach you how to reinvest. My favorite thing to do is a lead match. And the only way I'll do it is I watch action. I'm big on action, dude. You got to have some skin in the game. You got to be coachable. You got to be following the path. Like my favorite thing at the Founders Day was when Twardowski was talking to people about, the things that they require to get leads. It's like you got to be on dial day, live dials at 7:30 a.m. If you're there at 7:35, you ain't getting no help. Meaning he goes, I like how he set it up too. He's like, if you gave me $1,000 today, and I told you on Friday I'd give you $5,000, you'd come up with $1,000, right? Everyone says yes.
Yeah.
Because all right, that's the way it works with leads. And I believe in it so much that if it doesn't work for you, I will buy your leads, but you have to do a few things for that to happen. And he goes, you got to be on live dials by 7:30 a.m. If you're there at 7:35, you're late and I won't buy your leads. You have to book, I believe he said 15 appointments or 500 dials on your dial day, whichever comes first, or I don't buy your leads. and you have to call from and after every house on your appointments that week, or I don't buy your leads. If you do those 3 things and you spend $1,000 and don't make 5, I'll buy your leads. It's like, that's pretty dope, right? Now that's holding people accountable and giving them structure. And so for me, dude, if I was going to buy someone leads, now, if there's a situation, you know what I mean? Like, it's always case by case. So if you come to me and you're like, dude, I'm in the situation, I got my kids, happened, whatever, some big drop, but you're like, I'm going to work my ass off, dude, I'll buy someone leads at the beginning. I've definitely done it for the right guy, but I can pay attention to enough things along the way, how quick they get in class, how quick they get contracted, if they're on the new agent calls, if they're calling for help, if they're coachable. Like, I can watch along the way to see if they're doing the things they said they were going to do, and they're coachable, and they're communicating. If they're doing those 3 things, dude, I'm in. Again, my favorite way to do it outside of a situation where I'm just buying someone leads because I want to help someone, and the most common is, whatever you spend, I'll match for the first couple weeks, but I'm only going to do it if those parameters are hit. Meaning you're dialing enough, you run enough appointments, you're calling for help, and you're on the trainings. If you do those things and you're putting in $500, dude, I'll give you $500. If you put in 1,000, I'll give you 1,000, because I want to make it easy. It's like, you know, when you go to the mall, dude, and you go to those like the Chinese food places, and they give you the free sample.
Yeah.
You know why they give you the free sample, right? Because you're going to like it and you're going to buy some more food.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with leads. If I give someone free samples and they like the money that comes, they're probably going to buy more leads. Does that make sense? And so for me, again, I like to do it when people have skin in the game. I'm not really a big fan of them testing the waters with my money. But again, if they're doing all the correct things to have success, I'm all about paying for people. In 2017, dude, I spent over $400,000 in leads, and I wasn't in the field.
Wow.
Yeah. But my income that year tripled.
Okay. And it was all off of that. You just set the expectation, the requirements, and you would match.
That's it, man. Dude, people expect that, like, meaning everyone on here's had a job. They're like, you're going to show up Monday at 8. You're going to take lunch at 12. You're going to leave at 4:30. You get these days off. You have to be at these meetings. You have to be on these calls. You have this project to do. I expect you to do A, B, C, and D as your job. Like, everybody's used to that. Now they come here and you think suddenly, like, no expectations, they're just going to run it on their own. That's not the average person, dude. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I have to provide some level of structure for the average person to win. And I think early on, dude, I was trying to hire, and please understand, I was so bad at this at the beginning, and I was not perfect by any means, but I certainly think different than the average person. I'm not confused by that. You know, and I had bigger goals and dreams, and I had a way bigger willingness to do crazy things. I have an insane tolerance for risk just as a person. So this fed well into my personality. But dude, even when I was new, bro, I was running 10, 12 appointments a week because no one gave me structure to run more. Until I met Mark Mead, I didn't run 30 appointments a week, dude. I met Mark Mead and had a conversation with him, and he laughed in my face when he asked me how many appointments I was running, because I was trying to make what he was making. He's like, how many appointments you run? And I was like, I ran like 45 last month. And he literally, y'all heard Mark Mead laugh.
Yeah.
Dude, he did that to my face, bro. Because I was trying to figure out how to make $300,000-400,000 a year running 12 appointments a week. He's like, dude, say that out loud a few times, bro. You sound like a moron. You know, now I'm putting words in his mouth with that one, but he did laugh in my face. He did not call me a moron. I made that part, like, but that's what I felt him. That's the look he gave me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You talk about that the other day. That was funny.
Yeah.
Story.
So I don't know if that helped, dude. I'll ramble forever, and I see some people got questions. We can go however you want with this, dude. I got time.
I have another question. I think a couple people will have some questions. Frankie, what's up?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, tell them they'll be able to ask questions. I got one other question for you.
Yeah, go for it.
No, I got Frankie talking to me, and that's now I forgot mine. Who's got the question? What did they ask, Frankie?
I can see it too. No, they didn't ask. They just asked if they can.
Okay. How long?
Rodney, the creator.
What's he got?
Money sign.
See what he's
I
got.
like his name. He's got to be good. Maybe he's good. Is he good? I don't know. He's got a dope name.
Let's see.
But you can go ahead, and then we'll get to him. I'm good with whatever, dude. This is your show.
I have a question about, working together. Things change a lot. I remember, when I was here before, and I wanted to be my own person, right? So Frank and I had everything separated. We worked together. And when I came back, when everything changed for us, John, when Frank and I got together and really just put all of our egos aside. Can we talk about that a little bit? Because you and I talked about that.
Yeah.
And the way you and Kilmet always did everything together. I feel like our biggest growth in this last 24 months is the day when Frank and Jamie, actually, we sat down and we just did everything together. There were no separate groups. We work every day as one, and everything that we do is as one. Can we talk about how you and Mike were able to do that?
Yeah.
And what you think that does to help to build a team?
Well, hell, between Mike and I, we do $16 million a month. So that's what it does, first of all. What's funny, man, is this evolved from the beginning, man. It happened. Like, everybody looks at this thing. Like, you hear people go like John and Mike. Like, you hear it all the time. John and Mike do that. John and Mike having a meeting. John and Mike doing a sales conference. John and Mike. It's like we're lumped together.
Yep.
And that spawned from early on, dude, when I was nothing here. Nothing. I was just a dude sitting in the seat, watching the people speak up front and on things like this, trying to figure it out, bro. I was like, dude, if I help this cat grow his agency, certainly he ain't gonna be mad at it. Certainly I'll probably learn a thing or two. If I add value to the overall, dude, that's probably a good strategy. So it started early on, man. I was doing all kinds of stupid shit to help, like dumb stuff, like cleaning up chairs after meetings. Like, you ever go to a meeting, bro? And I might go off on a tangent, so I apologize. But you ever go to a meeting and like all the agents leave and there's like chips and cups and bags and pens and paper and trash, and all the chairs are, when you get there, the chairs are perfectly lined up. Yeah. And when we leave, all the agents leave, they're looking like shit. That drives me crazy. It drove Kilmet crazy. I'm like, so I started organizing, helping him do stuff like that, like dumb stuff, dude, because he had to do it. Like, you can't leave the chairs like that for the next meeting. That'd be dumb. You can't leave the trash everywhere for the next meeting. So someone had to clean it. And it wasn't none of the agents, and it was him. So I'm like, hell, I'll help. So I started that early, dude, just helping the operation. That's part of the operation. It sounds stupid, but it's got to be done. You know what I'm saying? I started with just little stuff, bro, because I had no value to add in life insurance. Yeah. But I can certainly clean up some mess. When people need to know where to go, when to sit down, I'm like, hey, can y'all get in? We're about to start. I would do stuff like that. Hey, Kilmet's about to start speaking in 4 minutes. Can y'all get seated? Can we be quiet? Can we sit down? Can we get organized? I would do stuff like that. Just help the meeting. When he would be up there telling the same joke week after week after week, I'd be like, dude, I could tell the joke, bro. But it was helping the meeting, And so it started early. So if anybody's like wondering, how can I help? Dude, there's a zillion ways to help. Now it turned into what you're asking, which is like, dude, we never did separate really anything. Like, there's things to do separate, yes. And there's times and places for certain things. But dude, Mike and I literally still to this day, dude, we game plan on everything together. Everything we do is on purpose, and we both like plan the strategy. So if it made sense, when it made sense for me to have my own team call, dude, that was a conversation, because there were so many people on his that my agents would get lost in his leaderboard. I remember this clear as that. I'm like, a guy would do $4,000 this week on my team, and he'd be like number 18 on Kilmet's leaderboard, or he'd be number 1 on mine, or 2 behind me. You know what I mean? 1 behind, whatever, behind me. So it's like, if I branch that off, then it made sense, because I could give people more credit. But dude, I never had my own Facebook group. I never had my own sales conferences. Him and I still share an office to this day. We still run every training together. Y'all see us stream it live on Mondays. Dude, Mike and John on every Monday on Facebook Live. We still do it, bro, because it's allowed us to take our strengths and weaknesses and utilize them together. And when you're growing an agency, there's a lot of it's like raising kids. Like, any of y'all that have kids, this will make sense. And any that don't, you've been a kid, so you might have done it. Like, you go to mom and you go, hey, can I have cookies? And she says no. And then you go to dad and go, can I have cookies? And he says yes. Right? Yeah. You now know to go to dad for the easy cookie answer. and maybe mom's flexible on some other things, right? So agents do the same thing. They'll ask questions over here, and then they'll go ask Frankie the same question. Like Mike and I had an agent literally do that today. Reached out to me, asked some stuff. I know this guy's in Mike's group. I sent him a text. I'm like, hey, FYI, this dude's asking this. Have you talked to him about this yet? He goes, dude, I've already given him the answer. He's looking for new answers. So now I don't have to waste my time with this agent that Mike and I are on the same page. And so as we built this thing, we were always on the same page. We were always passing the same message. We always had the same vision for the agents and the agency. So when agents tried to like find the new answer or, find the little blue pill that was the magic to it all, we were given, or when there was a, agent complaining about leads or something, the phone number wasn't on, dude, Mike and I gave the same answer. When an agent complained about a roll-up or chargeback or whatever, a manager complained about a guy who doesn't pay his lead bill or doesn't pay his rent or doesn't pay his contract, dude, Mike and I have the same answer. It doesn't waver, dude, because we know each other so well. We built this agency together. And when you want to, like, say we want to put something in play, whatever it is, something with the agency, we want to, I don't know, have people post in this group or do our Slack group or come to an event. When John and Mike are on board, dude, you know how much power there is in two people believing in something versus Mike saying one thing and having to get everyone else to buy in? Yeah. When he's bought in and I'm bought in, it's like that. You ever seen that video, the one with the dude who dancing out on the hill? You ever seen that video?
Yes.
Y'all can legit Google it. Put dancing idiot on the hill or something like that. Dancing guy on the hill. It'll come right up. It's one of the most popular videos on YouTube ever. But there's this dude at some kind of music festival, and he's on the top of a grass hill, and he just literally, and there's people everywhere. There's a decent amount of people out there, kind of spread out, but enough people. He runs to the middle of this, and someone's videoing it. He runs to the middle of this grass field and starts dancing like a complete, just crazy, just no rhythm whatsoever, just wild dancing. And dude, everyone's watching him, and he does it for a significant amount of time by himself. Out of nowhere, finally, a second person comes up and does it. Starts doing it with him. Dude, you know how quick the third one went up? 3 seconds later. Within 2 minutes, bro, if that, of the second one going up, dude, there was a crowd of people dancing at this thing. But it took one, and it didn't go well. As soon as the second went, dude, it blew up. There's a psychology to it, dude. You can read about it in all kinds of self-development books and psychology books, and they've studied this stuff. When there's a second buy-in, dude, it's so powerful to the group that it's hard to argue. And dude, I didn't need to be everything, bro. What do I want all the responsibility for? What does Mike want all the responsibility for? Why don't we just do this shit together? We're saying the same crap. We're trying to do the same thing. We're passing very similar messages. We have similar goals. Dude, why don't you take some of the burden? I take some of the burden, and we knock this thing out together. And people saw that, dude, and it became so attractive that everyone, do you know how many people have referenced, early on when Killamet was growing and I was helping the way I was with him, everyone was like, dude, I need a Wetmore. Meaning Paul had Andrew. Yep. They did okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Me and Killamet, there's something to be said about that. And again, if you're going off on a tangent, just say, because dude, I've seen it. I've lived it. People do it. One, let them go. What are you going to do? You can't beg people to work with you. But those that break off and just try to do it their own little way and cuddle everybody in their own little corner, and they're anti FFL or anti your agency, whatever it is, they're just do you not think that's training your agents to do the same thing? Eventually someone's going to do that shit to you.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? So we were teaching people how to run this agency. So the entire Southeast, bro, tries to do it this way. And it's, again, look what it's done. We're bigger than most companies. Our agency.
You have 3 direct integrity partners, which, it's a testament to your success. No, not at all.
That don't suck. That's pretty cool, though, to go I just want to help people make money and have 3 people I've mentored, signed, and we have 2 more in depth, which again,
wow,
I didn't have time to do with that. You know what I mean? The guys I helped did, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know I don't know. Besides Sean, I don't know if there's anyone that has three direct.
When you said that at dinner, I said, that's impressive. And that's where I want to be. I want to help as many people as possible be able to do that. We're going to wrap up. We got 5 minutes left. Are there any questions? Any questions on here? I could talk to you forever, man.
I'm just sitting in my kitchen, bro. Steph and Maddox are in there taking a nap, going to sleep, watching a movie. I'm good.
We were eating dinner that night, and you didn't even have a chance to eat, man. We're just rapid firing questions at you. Frankie, what's up?
Yeah, I love this shit, though. But again, I'm doing it to help other people win, bro.
I get it.
You know what I mean? I sure as hell ain't doing it for the money today. I promise. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen your car, the car you drive. I know that. Frankie, what's up?
You've seen that.
Kali's got her hand raised. Kali, you can unmute. Jump in there.
Hey, John. Thank you for your time this evening. I don't know if you answered this in your talk, but what if you do have an agent that legitimately just doesn't have any money? Will you give them leads after they show that they're coachable and they follow the instructions that you give?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the answer is it depends. You know, I always find it interesting. Like what you see a lot is people want us to do this thing full time and they have about no money to get started. I don't recommend they go full time. Like when I'm interviewing someone, I just ask them, like, how much money you got to invest into leads? And then usually when the question back to me is, well, how much do leads cost? I know they got no money and they don't understand it. So if they got $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, if they don't have like a significant amount of money into leads, I just assume, and I tell them this, I go, I assume you're going to start this thing part-time and transition into full-time. Because even if you, again, my thing is, and I want to give you my full thought process. I will actually answer the question. Okay. My thing is, if you aren't running 30 appointments a week, this thing ain't full-time anyway. And if you ask someone running 30 appointments a week, they'll tell you they ain't working 40 hours. Because you're running 30 appointments a week, you're sitting 20, 22 max, an hour an appointment max, it's 22 hours. And maybe it took you 10 hours to book them. There's 32 hours. And you go, but I drove a lot. That don't count. It didn't count when I had a job. It didn't count when any of y'all had jobs. It don't count. You know what I mean? Like if you want to count it to make yourself feel good, amen. But it don't really count. So for me, I think part of the biggest struggle here is there's so many people who call this full-time because it's their only job. And this being your only job, don't make it a full-time job. Be clear. If you ain't running 40 plus appointments a week, there's no chance on earth you're working 40 hours a week. If I timed you every dial and I timed you every time you sat in a house, and that's in the time, as soon as you hung up the phone, the timer went off. And as soon as you walked out the door, the timer went off. That shit would not add up to 40 hours for most people on this call. Right. So I try not to put somebody in a situation to where they're broke and I'm letting them do this full time. That's part of my like initial line of questioning. And part of the path is I ain't letting someone with $200 to their name rely on this as their full-time job. Because again, they're going to have time. If they don't have the money to put into running 30, 40 appointments a week, what are they going to be doing all week? Sitting on their butt? Right. I'm not real excited about helping someone with leads that's willing to sit on their butt most of the week and wait for me to buy them leads. I'm not excited about that. Now, if they're working a full-time job and they're just getting by and they got a few kids and they got a story and yada, 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 and they want to get out of their situation and need help with leads, I'm your guy. Dude, I will buy your leads. You know what I'm saying? But if you're running 12 appointments in a week and you're broke and you don't have a job, I ain't your guy. I have no sympathy for you. You're sitting on your butt and you got a wife that's depending on you and you ain't working 80 hours a week. I have zero sympathy. None. So I will buy someone leads. Dude, you better be doing everything you can to get out of your situation. And I will be the first to make sure that on my end, you got every opportunity to win possible. My personal strategy is to overbuy someone leads. And I think a mistake some people make is like, I've seen a lot, and I've done this too, to be clear. I've made every mistake. Anything I'm talking about, I've done, I promise. But I've seen a lot of people buy someone leads and they'll buy a new agent like 30 leads. And I'm like, File, how many leads a week do you need to sell what you need to sell?
I need 150 leads. 200.
Okay. Yeah. So do you think a brand new agent needs more or less leads?
They probably need double.
Okay. So if you buy them less leads than you give yourself, are you really giving them a shot to win?
Not even close.
In fact, what are you telling them? That they can be successful on shit lead flow. That's what they hear. When you give them 30 leads and go get them, Tiger. They hear like, you're good, mama. Steph's sneaking by. She don't want to be on camera. They're hearing, oh man, I can kill it with 30 leads. Dude, if you can't kill it on 30 leads, how do you expect a new person to kill it on 30 leads? So that goes with expectations. So for me, I found it the best when I identify someone that's willing to work their butt off, and then I buy them leads, and I make it so easy for them to book that they can't help but buy more leads. I want to teach someone how to be self-sufficient in this business. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I found like this dude, some of y'all probably heard of now, this guy, Martin Jenkins, his name, he goes by Yoda. He came on with me in January, young dude, mid-20s, college athlete, got drafted in the NFL, didn't make it, got injured. He didn't play, but he got drafted, whatever. Had a desire to win. I saw it. He did everything right. He was following instructions. He was coachable. He just didn't have a ton of, he wasn't broke, but he didn't have a ton of cash. He couldn't put $1,000, $1,500 a week into lead. He wasn't there yet. But dude, he was doing everything, bro. So I remember going to him one week and going, hey, dude, you're running like, he was running, your standard 15, 20 appointments a week, whatever it was. He was doing okay. And I went, dude, are you willing to run 30 or 40 appointments a week? Like if I just magically gave you more appointments, would you run 30 or 40 appointments a week? He goes, hell yeah. I said, Amanda, not with him there. I went to Amanda's office. I said, hey, get him like 3 or 4 G's worth of leads. Wow. And I hit him one day. I was like, dude, here's your shot. Go make it happen. Now, if he don't run 40 appointments a week, whose fault is that?
His at that point.
He's got to be trying hard to fail with that many leads. And now he has enough leads for the next month. And dude, then I'm like, now you can go make this kind of cash and reinvest it. Dude, he's going to issue $350,000 this year in his first year. And I never had to buy him leads again.
We got Frank that wants to come in.
What up, Frank? Did that answer your question?
Yeah,
I think it did. Cool. Nah, not you, Frankie. I just saw you pop on camera, bro. I was like about to say what's up.
What's up, man? Dude, this is some of the best training I've ever heard. First of all. Second of all, so I do have a question for you, and I know it's late. So, Mike,
dude. Hey.
Yeah, all right.
I'm good, bro.
So, dude, you've been here since day one. You've been through some stuff. I've witnessed it. And now you smile, right? That's what happens after you get through it.
Amen, brother.
Right? But it's not easy, and I get that. So when stuff hits the fan, what do you do to stay right? Because that's the hard. It's easy for me to sit there and tell you that, hey, it's going to be all right when you're going through it and I'm not.
Yeah.
But it's really hard, Mike. And I've been both. Listen, I've been through a bunch of stuff too, and I've had people. I remember Mark Mead called me and said, "Dude, this is the best thing that's ever going to happen to you." I said, "Yeah." I said some choice words, and then I hung up. I'm going like, "How dare you?" But he was absolutely right 6 months later. So, that's my question, man. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, you got it, dude. That's a good question, bro. Man, how do I want to answer this? So here's the thing: there's a couple answers to it. There's a couple angles to it. One, this also goes back to what Fowle and I were talking about, like where Mike and I really did this thing together. We could have conversations between each other that we wouldn't and couldn't have with other agents. So one, when you have shit going on, dude, don't talk to your agents about it. Like you've got to like, first of all, being crazy successful in life comes with problems. Buckle up. You want to do big things? Buckle the F up. You ain't seen nothing yet. You're going to have big problems and they don't go away, dude. You know how big I got a lot more money, but I have way bigger problems too that come up. It's like, there's stuff still. That stuff don't go away. Just like no shows don't go away. Neither does the shit. It's still there, So, one, I thankfully I had a lot of great mentors in the business, Mark Mead being one of them for sure, Killamet. And they taught me, dude, for me to grow a big business, I can't let everyone in the business see it. I can't bring other people down. I can't have a pity party. It does no good. I have to learn a lesson from it. I have to look at it and go, what did I do that put me in this situation that this bad thing happened? Like, what's the controllable part from me? Right? There's always one. I've learned, and dude, me and you are really similar, bro. I lose my sometimes, and I let it ain't good. I'll pop off. So I've had to learn to, one, not make emotional decisions, not have conversations that I think I need to have when I'm emotional, because I make poor decisions, poor choices of words. I just do dumb things when I'm emotional. So I've learned to just step back, take a breath. Like, dude, I'm alive. I'm breathing. I'm not in the hospital. I don't have effing stage 4 cancer. I don't have, you know what I mean? Like, life is good. I have a problem, which means I now have an opportunity to come up with a solution for my business. I'm fortunate that I have the opportunity to solve something. I have to look at it that way. It ain't easy, but if I say it out loud enough, I can convince myself, like, all right, some other things. Mike and I, we were so close through the years, and we were so intentional on building this thing that we could have conversations with each other that we wouldn't have with other people. Right? Same as some of us, like you and I have had conversations you certainly wouldn't have with others. We've all done that. So I think it's important to have a person with you that understands, that can relate. Dude, a lot of these things that I went through in business, especially, Steph never heard about. I didn't bring it home. I didn't bring it to my kids. I didn't bring it to my staff. I kept it in a box. And for me, that box was Killamette. Mark Mead would definitely be the second one. After a few years, a little bit with Matt, that was probably it. But Killamette and Mark Mead, dude, those were my guys when I had issues, because I could free reign, and they would let me vent. And then my favorite part, dude, they'd tell me the effing truth at the end, and they'd tell me all the shit I did to cause it, and typically how to resolve it. So I had to learn to swallow my pride, dude, and stop blaming things on other people. Again, I had to learn to find ways out of it. And as I learned to make things no big deal, it's very easy to pass that along to agents. When an agent's losing their shit over a $15 lead that doesn't have a phone number, I'm like, you're going to spend 4 hours raging mad when you could have went and made $2, $3, $4 grand dialing over fucking $15. Stop. Seriously? You know what I'm saying? Or a manager. I got a $2,000 roll up. Okay. You made 40 grand this month. Do you think Walmart shit their pants when someone stole $2 grand worth of stuff? Like, it's the cost of doing business, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I can have those conversations with others when I can have them with myself too. And I allow Mark and Matt and Killamette and certainly Sean Mike. He will definitely tell you the truth when you have something up. And I've had plenty of those conversations with Sean over the years. So those are some of my thoughts out loud, dude. I don't know if I exactly hit what you want, but
100%, dude. That's like so money.
Part of building this thing is learning how to minimize things and normalize things, meaning nothing's a big deal. The lead, the chargeback, the cancellation, all the crap that happens, dude, it's no big deal. It's just part of the game. It's like how when I used to work at Little Caesars, if you left the dough out too long because we had a slow day, some of the dough went bad and we had to throw it away. It's like part of it. You know what I mean? When I worked in the warehouse, sometimes I would drop a box and like tomato sauce would leak all over the floor. It's part of their business. Like they didn't lose their mind. It was factored in. And the best producers, they don't lose their mind over no-shows and cancels and one legs and all this stuff because they factor it into their top line appointments. I factored in roll-ups and chargebacks and agents quitting and not paying their lead bill and all the crap that happens to our managers. I factored all that in with my production and the number of people I was hiring. So when it happened, I just expected it, dude. It's like, no big deal. Minimize it, dude. And then you normalize things. It's normal to run 30 appointments a week. It's normal to do 10K a week. It's normal to interview 30 people a week. It's normal to do all these things, to put 1,500. It's normal. So if you can minimize things and normalize things, that's what Sean Mike's done better than anyone I've ever seen in my life.
No doubt.
We've just passed that down, man. So
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
You got it, my dude.
John, I appreciate your time. We went over, and I could sit here for like another 2 hours talking to you.
Hey, I'm going to answer a question in here that's in the chat, because this is one that drives me crazy. And Rodney, I loved your name, but and by the way, I know Cody personally, and I wish he were sitting right here for the answer. That is like, he said, he talks about promoting insurance in a way where you don't have to pay for leads. Dude, you always pay for leads in one way or the other. Meaning, if let's just say Cody, he's not looking for insurance leads, he's looking for business marketing leads. He's paying for leads with his time on social. If you want like free lead, like I know a lot of people want free leads, get free leads. There's free leads out there. It's like, there's no leads that are free. I had a guy call me last week. He's like, we start them at aggressive comp. I don't want to put it out there because it might offend some people, but we start people at aggressive comp. And he's like, yeah, but will I get free leads? Because I get free leads now. I said, dude, what's your comp today? He goes, 45. I'm like, bro, your leads are costing you 80 points. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, seriously? What's the comp we'll give you? X. What's the comp you have now? Y. You know, the difference is your lead cost. The guy's keeping that, bro. Your leads aren't free. There's no free lead. There's no free lead. It doesn't exist. It's either costing you time. Those referrals are free. They cost you time. I ain't saying don't get them. I'm just saying they ain't fully free. There's some time involvement. There's some strategy. They're better than I get. There are some, and I get your point. So yeah, dude, I've had a lot of the no free lunch. I saw someone post this thing today. It said like on one of our ads, they put like initials, like T. It meant like there's no such thing as free lunch, whatever those initials are. I had to Google the words. They literally just put the initials, and I Googled it, and I'm like, there's no such thing as free lunch. Who knew? I don't know why they put that on our ad, but again, there's no free lead. And again, if you're looking for free leads, it just means, in my opinion, I'm not saying this is you, dude, that posted this. I'm not saying you think this way, but in general, the agent that's looking for free leads has a broke mindset, and they'll probably never have a big business because they actually think things are free. It's like, like free health insurance ain't free. Free school ain't free. Like, y'all heard of taxes, right? Ain't none of that shit free.
That is right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's again, and you're going to come across it a lot in this business. Is people want handouts. People have crazy expectations. Dude, you know how many people want agents given to them now when they ain't doing no damn work? Like, where's my agents? Where's your agent? I don't know. How many did you hire this week? Your agents are on the other end of the phone when you're doing interviews, bro.
Yeah,
So anyway, dude. Sorry, I had to address that one.
I can't see that chat, Frankie. We got a little Frankie running it. So, but John,
it's all good.
I appreciate your time tonight, man. It was tremendous, and I love talking to you when we were down in Boca, man. We kept you from eating. I mean, I could talk to you forever. So, but I appreciate you for spending some time with the group tonight. We're looking to take this thing to $4 million a month by the end of the year. So, got a lot of growth to happen.
Hey, and all you got to do, bro, is where you've got to $1 million. Imagine if you just taught 2 other people to do it. The same thing. Teach 2 other people to do $1 million. You grow another $1 million. That's $4 million. It's not that deep. Don't overcomplicate it. You know what I'm saying? The guys that are doing 400, teach a couple people how to do 400. You'll be doing $2 million a month. It's not that complicated. The grow this thing, you got to teach others to do what you've done. That's it. It's not any more complicated. If you know how to sell 30 grand, teach people how to do that. If you know how to do 12 grand, teach people how to do 12 and then give them to someone who can teach them how to do 30. You know what I mean? If you can build a $150,000 agency, teach a few guys how to do that. You'll be doing 500-600 grand. It's not that deep, dude.
One last thing I want you to share with everyone. What your partnership with Integrity, is it more than what you ever thought it could be, and how worth it is for the people on this call to get there?
Bro, it gets more bananas every time I learn more. Like, first of all, that wasn't on the radar for us. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like the people are chasing it now. Dude, I didn't know Integrity existed 3 months before I had an offer, or 6 months, whatever it was, until Sean got it. So yeah, dude, it's changed my whole world, bro. Like, I went from like making really good and I was making 7 figures, dude, as you know, selling, you know what I mean? For probably 3 years prior to Integrity knocking on the door, three plus years, whatever it was.
Not a bad program.
Dude, this turned it into like 8 will be 9 one day. You know what I mean? Like, dude, this is generational crap now. Like I can't, and the value of the company now, the growth, because dude, I get a piece of the whole pie now.
Yeah.
Like, think about this. We're trying to hire people to get an override. Dude, technically I get an override on all of Integrity today. When I own a piece of the profit, every partner that sells a policy in Integrity, I get a small piece of. Little piece. Now, today, it's in stock. Buckle up when that thing goes public. You know what I mean? And again, we're paid handsomely. I ain't never seen a check that big. I made more money in one day than I made in my entire career. And I made good money in my career, bro.
I love it.
You know? And so it's allowed me to do what it's allowed me to just, it's been a relief. It's been awesome to be a part of. It's like we're part of a Cinderella story. This is the Amazon of the insurance industry. We're part of it. You know what I mean? This started literally in Brian Adams' basement. It started in Sean Mike's crappy little office. It started in Mike Killamet's basement. I was dialing in my garage, dude, my cold, unheated garage 8 years ago. Broke as a joke. And now I'm a damn effing Integrity partner I ain't worth as much as Brian Adams, dude, but I'm partners with a billionaire.
There we go.
You know what I mean? It's just changed our world, dude. And again, those that see it on the radar, man, I'd get there as fast as you can, because this rocket ship has taken off, and their new partnership with Silver Lake. I mean, they're on a mission to like 20x in the next few years. So hire fast. Hire fast.
I'm excited, and I appreciate your time tonight, John. Thank you.
Brother.
All right, man. Have a good one. Good night. Bye-bye.